Welcome back to another We Be Talking. Today is episode 8. I'm Justin.
What is up? I'm Logan.
And this is our podcast about anime and video games. And we're going to jump right into anime in a little bit. I just wanted to make a correction from last week's episode about the Nintendo Online, where I said if you didn't, with the NES Classic games on it, if you didn't connect to online within 7 days, you would lose access to them. And I wasn't sure what you would have to do to get access back to them. It only applies to those ones you download to play offline. You just have to log in once every 7 days to reaffirm you have those games that are owned on your account. So as long as you log back in after that 7 day period, you just get them back for another 7 days, essentially.
Gotcha. Thank you for the correction.
Yeah, I guess it's correction. It's more like a rest of the details thing,
right?
But whatever. Let's get that out there. But now let's go back into anime. Let's just get through all these announcements that were made this week.
Man, we need anime to start spicing it up. All right, there's. It's hard to find some news because it's just the same. It's like announcements. This episode came out. This episode came out.
There's nothing like crazy. I want some drama. All right, video games give us drama. Anime doesn't.
Give me some spicy
Quit being
drama.
Respectful and nice.
Someone go out and do something
like crazy,
controversial.
But yeah, so let's just get into this. So, Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, the second movie, is confirmed for spring 2019. Now, I have yet to. I've heard the series is good. I haven't watched it yet. I probably should because I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's like I've heard music from it too, and the music's pretty good. And sometimes the music makes me want to go check it out.
Right. Music and anime is dope.
So yeah, that's there. Let's move on to whatever else was. So there was all right, I only put this one in here because of the title. And it's first of all, it's called Dokionin ya wa Hiza Tokidoki Atama no Oe, which means my housemate is on my knee, sometimes on my head.
Oh my god.
It's not a guy and a cat, okay?
Each week we're just going to find the most outrageous title we can find that's been announced.
So, it's upcoming. They didn't say when the date was in here, but they released who's voice acting in it and a trailer. Normally I wouldn't mention that stuff because it's
the name is just too hard.
Yeah, this is you know what? If you guys care about the cast of whatever the hell this show is, it was announced, so you go look at it. But it was just hey, this title is hilarious.
Right.
My housemate is sometimes on my knee, sometimes on my head. At first, the first time I read the title, I thought it says my housemate is on his knees and sometimes on my head. I was like, whoa, that's a different title.
I would say that's a whole different type of anime.
You won't say it's not an anime.
Some will say it's well, yeah, you know.
Now this one, Reride D Dorita actually had the first the first few episodes launched yesterday through Crunchyroll before airing at its normal time of October 3rd. Apparently it's super. This is weird because they talk about how it's a new series that's most anticipated for the fall, but I don't see it on my anime list now that I think about it.
The Reride
D.
Maybe it's under some. Oh, I see it. I see it right now. It's all one word. Reride D. Rerided.
Reride. Maybe I just missed it, which is possible. They say it's very highly anticipated, but yeah. So I guess they did some type of thing where
What?
they just released 4 episodes or something like that, which is kind of crazy.
This typo on my anime list is so funny. It says the first 4 episodes debuted at a Japanese premiere event held on October 22nd. They put 22th, but regular broadcasting will begin October 4th. So apparently they premiered 2 weeks after on this magical 22nd of October instead of on October 4th.
It should
That's
be
impressive.
September 22nd, October 3rd, according to Crunchyroll.
Right.
So,
good job.
Good one,
my anime list.
It's just weird that they would show rolled out during the day. So they had the first at like 7 a.m. Pacific time, and then it's just like, oh, here's some throughout the day. It's just randomly, sporadically. Just
that is weird.
I don't know how that did, or
I missed it, so I haven't really heard of it either.
No. Just because they say most anticipated, I don't know. I was like, oh, maybe we could review it, but now we're already 4 episodes behind.
Right.
That's a lot to watch.
What is here?
You can't review that week to week.
Do you want to know what it's about?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right, so it says it's when a development engineer wakes up in the future from a cold sleep, his girlfriend isn't there. He decides to go back 10 years in time to that incident to keep his promise with her.
Yeah, that was an interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm good.
Nothing super crazy.
Oh
well.
Okay. Moving on.
Okay.
Let's see. So, School Live got like a poster that showed release dates for the live action film adaptation.
My favorite.
And it's hitting the Japanese theaters in January. So apparently School Live is a zombie thing. A couple of these I've already talked about actually have been zombie things. Because zombies are hip right now.
And what is this, like 2009? Wasn't there a bunch of movies in 2009 about zombies?
Yeah, that's what people are like, oh, there's too many zombie things now. It's like, you could apply that to literally anything and say there's too much of it right now, right?
There's too many video game shows or anime. There's too many. You know what I get.
Yeah, you could literally pick a genre and
shows of shows.
Yeah. So yeah, you got a live action movie of that, it's probably going to be fucking awful.
I agree.
I sorry if you like this to just diss it, but come on.
No, it's okay. Live action suck.
Yeah, maybe we'll get one. The Bleach one's on Netflix now. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't even seen all of Bleach.
I haven't either. I watched the first 70. That's all you need to know.
I've seen the first 70 at least, so all right. Woo. Well, let's watch it.
Let's see. We got with the hyphen between you and no. Just let you know. That's a Y-U-N-O.
Tell me what we know.
It has an April premiere. They announced their cast and staff, so you get all the full information. They just say the names. I don't know what they've been in, so I don't know Japanese people. I'm sorry. So even if I mention these cast members, it's irrelevant. And apparently they're also having a video game for the Nintendo Switch coming out with it soon, which is weird.
That is one long full title, though. I will not read it. I will save myself the embarrassment.
Oh, I see it. A girl who chants love at the bound of this world. It's a visual novel. Now we're getting somewhere.
Right. If it's a novel, that title's coming in hot.
It doesn't matter. Visual, light novel. It's getting a title.
It's getting a big old title.
A girl who chants love at the bound. Okay, that sounds stupid, but I might watch it for reviews just because visual novel fan bases are just kind of they're intense and they really love their stuff.
They're very
and some
devoted.
of their communities are actually really good. It's the light novel ones you have to be careful of at times.
I feel like you're speaking of a specific one.
No, never.
The one that shall not be named.
Never. Anyway, moving on. We got The Wise Grandson is going to anime in April 2019. It's a fantasy light novel adaptation. So people look out for that.
Novels.
Yeah, more.
I didn't realize. What is the difference between a light novel and a manga?
A light novel is more like an actual novel, so there's no pictures or anything. It's more like an actual book.
It's like a book.
Yeah,
essentially. I guess
except for it's a more simple kind of book. I haven't read any personally. I've seen and looked at a couple, but it's more. It almost reads like a script. Some do, at least. I don't know if they're all like that or what. I am not well versed in light novels.
I'm not either. I don't even think. Yeah, I don't know.
The only ones I'm interested in reading, I haven't got my hands on yet. So, like Spice and Wolf, I've always wanted to go and read the novel for that, but I haven't yet. So, no experience.
One day.
One day. We got The Royal Tutor, an all-new feature film for February 16th, 2019. So apparently they had a countdown on Twitter for their new project, and that was announced.
And this is it.
So
The Royal Tutor.
Yeah, so a film. They had an anime from back in 2017, I guess. It was 12 episodes. It looks silly. I didn't watch it.
There's a lot of
there's just so much out there I can't get behind and watch everything. I'm sorry. I have limited time.
Exactly. What am I gonna do? Just literally have anime on 24/7, not sleep? Maybe. Who knows?
So I think that's it. They're just having a film, animated, not live action, which is a surprise. You know, everything's live action these days.
Don't remind me. I do not like live action. It is a plague.
It's an unneeded thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the last announcement, actually, Radiant. It's a anime for this fall. I was actually already interested in it, but they announced all the cast for it, and they call it an all-star voice cast. And it's literally like some of the biggest people coming in here doing the voice acting and stuff.
All-star.
Yeah, that's what they called it. I was semi-interested in the show, like on the fence. I think we could review this one definitely.
I mean,
and then they showed the cast for it. It's like, all right, definitely interested.
Yeah, since there's not a ton of stellar anime in the fall anyway, I'm down.
Yeah. It always throws me off on some of these because they do a lot of, females for male characters when it comes to voice acting, especially when they're younger. And the main character is voiced by the girl that did Evil Eye and Overlord. And she's also doing another show at the same time, so she's working hard. You got
she's nice hard work.
Futaba in Persona 5 is doing one of the characters along with she was also a voice actor in Your Name for Sayaka and Itori. I haven't seen Your Name yet, but
really,
yeah,
it's pretty good.
Watch it. Like this character Alma, who's Romy Park, who did like Edward Elric and Full Metal Alchemist, Ragyo and Kill la Kill. She's Hanji in Attack on Titan. So
yeah, this one does. There's another one that does. Sue from Hero Academy, Tornado from One Punch Man.
This person's from Black Butler. Wow. So
this person has done so much. Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, all-star cast. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, like at first I was like, oh, come on, they're baiting me here with this title. And then it's like, oh, okay, so these people have done some big stuff.
Right, lots of standout characters that they've all done.
Yeah, so I think we'll most likely pick it up and review it.
We'll probably review it. Oh, look, wow, a news announcement. We're reviewing Radiant. Wow.
Get ready for that, which will be also be. Well, I mean, we'll have a separate video of us talking about what we'll be reviewing too.
Of course.
Especially since there's not a whole lot in the fall.
We're gonna have to kind of throw some darts at a board and figure out what's we think's exciting.
Yeah, I've looked at a few. I've got a few picked out that we can at least discuss. So we'll get there.
Oh, gotcha.
We'll cover that next week. when we get to that bridge, we'll cover it. Okay.
Right.
So that does it for all the anime news announcements. Let's jump into our topic.
I'm excited for this topic
dude.
because it's also a surprise for me.
Mostly because I was trying to think of it while I was giving the news.
Oh.
So
as you can see, we are prepared.
Yeah, we are totally prepared. You know, this is what I came with. If you could replace any main character in an anime with you.
With me?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically you're picking what anime you would want to be in, but you're replacing the main character, and that's you. You are now the main character of that anime. What anime would it be? And why?
Okay.
And 5,000 word essay, please.
5,000? Okay. All right, let me think. Let me think of, the pros and cons of every anime I've ever watched in this 10-second moment.
Okay.
And which one I would want to be in.
Here's the simple thing, right? One, I think it's a basic go-to is Pokemon, right? But you're 10 forever, and you can never age above 10.
Does that
mean... Which means you lose a lot of things you're allowed to do in life.
Okay, let me ask this. Am I going there with my mind? Like, if I were to go into Pokemon as a 10-year-old, am I still have the mind of, how old I am?
No, I'm going with it's. I'm just going with it's you. It's just flat out you.
Okay, so it's
you as
me.
Now in there. All right, you're not gonna be a 10-year-old stuck at 10.
Okay, so I'll be stuck at the age I'm at now, since Pokemon people don't age. I'm not going to Pokemon. All right, it doesn't matter. You know what?
I was just using it for a sample. I ain't going to Pokemon either. Is it cool? Yeah, but
since I'm on the hype train of this, I would pick Hero Academy. Who wouldn't want their own superpower, pretty much? Well, not really super.
You're replacing Deku, therefore, you would have...
I'm strong. I'm strong. I'm fast. I know All Might. Yeah. Yeah, then that sounds like a win to me. Except I live in a society where villains...
And you could die at any time.
Right, and I also could overexert myself and lose use in all my limbs.
Do they have... Now I'm trying to think of what their hobby stuff do they have. Do they have your normal MMOs, video games?
Do you think they have do you think they have normal sports for all the people without quirks, and then they have extreme sports with people with quirks? So imagine Deku playing volleyball and he just spikes it through the ground, I guess.
He can't use his arms.
Okay, he kicks it. He round or
soccer, you
right.
Just blaze and kick it. You're right, Now I'm trying to think about the world of My Hero for a quirkless versus quirk.
I feel like there's... Damn, do you think they segregate? Do you think they'd say... Because, Bakugo was making fun of Deku for being quirkless. You think that's the norm?
I never thought... Yeah, this world sucks if you're quirkless. You're getting bullied, harassed. You can only go to the quirkless people restrooms and work jobs. We don't need you on this line because you have to have a quirk to be able to use this machinery.
Right. Go work over there. Go be a...
You think quirkless people just have normal IT jobs and customer support and that's it?
Yeah. And some police officers, as we saw. They're just the cleanup crew for the heroes. But there's only like, well, it's only like 20% of the population is
quirkless.
You
But
think
then,
some
do you think
people
they
like
also bully like the people with crappy weak quirks?
that's also saying
Like you're
crap.
basically quirkless, man.
Have you seen that picture going around from last episode
No.
where it was a character in the background? I didn't even notice it, and he literally has a Lego blockhead. And people are like, "What the hell is this guy's quirk? If you step on him, you hurt a lot." And so,
I did not see that.
I'll have to show you the picture. It's so funny.
Wow.
I'm glad
So
this
you
turned
would
into
want to go to a world full of segregation. That's what you chose.
well,
And
if it
would
means
you bully quirkless people?
if it means I get superpowers, 100%. 100%. All right, I'm gonna say it. I like how this went from what character would you like to replace to a fundamental societal discussion about Hero Academy and the
we're definitely making a separate video about the culture of
the
the culture and civility, like civilization of My Hero
Right.
Academia. Not as
Calm down.
advanced as you think they are.
The dark side.
They don't even have sports anymore. Okay, and all this time, I didn't even think of mine.
Oh my. I gave you like a good 3 minutes.
I was discussing about segregation and how it's wrong. I don't think I ever said it was wrong, but it's wrong. There we go, confirmed wrong. Okay. I think I would replace. I'm trying to make something. I don't accidentally pick something that's super dark, and it's
Right.
everyone around me dying, and it's like, oh,
Right. I would pick Attack on Titan, where everyone I know dies. The end.
pick Death Note so I could murder everyone.
That would be interesting.
Because the route would be obviously.
Wait, hold
because
on.
the story arc is going to be different because it's me,
Right. Also,
and I
would
can learn
say-
from Light's mistakes.
it's interesting because you're gonna murder everyone. Let me get that clear. I heard that.
No. Honestly, I think I would replace Lawrence from Spice and Wolf. It's kind of like in that time era, like a lot of, and also it's got the fantasy part of the world. And you got a shot with
Wolf
Holo.
Girl.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the real reason. Let's be honest.
Yeah, man, you're not going after Uraraka at all, huh? Huh? You're gonna tell me you're not going for that? You're not going for Toga?
I'm going to be a outstanding advocate for quirkless people's rights.
You see, oh yeah, Osley was also a voice actress in Radiant.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, to be fair, I never listened to you.
That's okay. Well, I called her Sue. You know, because that's her nickname. But it's okay. I'll forgive you. This one time.
I'm sorry, man. Oh well. But
Woo.
Okay, yeah, we're just in segregation rights. Got it.
Right. Quirkless
As in against segregation, not rights for segregation. Let me make that clear.
Quirkless lives matter. All right. New slogan 2018, 19, whatever.
Depends on when you get there.
All right. Depends when you watch this.
That is also true. In 2020, 2021, 2022.
Right.
Okay, that ended up being a little different route we were expecting. I did not expect the My Hero to go that way. It did. That's fine.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if we ruined Hero Academy for people.
It's just everyone's gonna start thinking about it like, are they segregated?
I mean, I just made a joke and then I really thought about it and I'm like, wait. The one time we've whatever.
I already got an episode title for podcast now.
That's definitely not gonna be clickbaiting.
My Hero segregates workers. Anyway, let's just jump into video game announcements. Woo! So actually,
Yay.
hey, what do you mean? Yay? This is the
No, I'm
section
just
I
saying
like
yay.
a lot. Okay, so
Same here. That's why I'm here.
PlayStation Classic was announced. This was only a matter of time until someone else copied
Right.
Nintendo.
It seems to be a thing to make a classic and make it tiny.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I have a Super Nintendo Classic. It's awesome. Really easy to travel with. Powers up via USB. People are complaining with the PlayStation Classic because it powers up the USB as well. It's perfectly fine. You just plug it in your computer. You plug it into a lot of
literally.
like my power strip has USB slots.
I'll say USBs there's USBs in cars. Play some mini on the car.
You could actually. You still gotta bring a TV with you, but you could. So there's gonna be 20 games preloaded on it. It's $100, which is ouch.
Kind of pricey. I guess
is
it 20 full games?
Yeah. So because the Super Nintendo Classic was 60, and it came 15, 20 games or so. And the problem with the PlayStation Classic, they've only announced 5 of the 20 so far. Not all of them, which is, I don't know why. It comes out December 3rd. So, Final Fantasy VII, that's a big one. But, I mean, that's literally, you can play that anywhere now at this point. It's even on PC, it's on Steam and all that. Great game. But, I mean, it has to be on a PlayStation Classic, so they're obviously going to pick that. They got Jumping Flash, Ridge Racer, Type 4, Tekken 3, and Wild Arms. So of those 5 that they've announced so far, Final Fantasy VII and Wild Arms are essentially all that matter. The other 3 are outdated. They don't really run very well. They're just way out of their league at this point. Like Wild Arms, Final Fantasy VII still play fine. They're still, they're kind of timeless.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, Nintendo, like the Super Nintendo, that had a lot of timeless games on it. Like just Mario games are kind of timeless, so you don't feel the outdatedness of them. But Tekken 3, you're gonna feel the outdatedness of it. That's how I feel with like Street Fighter 2, which was on the Super Nintendo Classic as well. And it's like, yeah, this Street Fighter 2 does not play well.
All right, it's gonna be like, ooh, I thought this was good. We have Street Fighter 17 and a half now.
And these other 15 games have to be big, in my opinion, for me to even think about getting one. Because these 5, I mean, just 2 of these 5 are good right now. There's a lot of other games that could easily publish on it that hold up today. Especially a lot of JRPGs were back on this one. Persona 1, Persona 2, I think would be good ones to throw on it. First of all, Persona 2, if they put it on there, they would have to do Part 1 and Part 2, which I think would be awesome, considering Part 1 never came to the West. So I think this would be a good chance to combine those 2 and have it as one game for the West.
You should write a letter.
But I don't think that's going to happen. Pretty sure that was regular PlayStation, unless I'm crazy. Or were they PlayStation 2? I don't even know at this point. I'm pretty sure they're PlayStation 1. PlayStation. I know Persona 3 was PlayStation 2. And Persona 4. Anyway. So yeah, PlayStation Classic. $100. Right now, not looking so great, in my opinion. The other thing PlayStation announces, the PlayStation Now subscribers now have the option of downloading PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 2 games. PlayStation Now is like it's like their I don't have it. It's a weird thing. It's like a subscription where you can stream games onto like you can stream them onto your PC, I believe, and onto your console. But there are issues with streaming games right now, just because the stream games to really not have latency issues, you have to have pretty fast internet.
Yeah, some top tier internet,
which we have.
Which luckily we do have.
Yeah, but it is cool they now are allowing people to download them instead of just streaming them and stuff. So that gives you a chance to play them, and then you only have to log online every so often to make sure to verify you have them, kind of like the Nintendo every 7 days thing. But yeah, so they have they don't have like PS3 games at all, but they have like, no, they do. They just can't download them. That's weird. Okay, PlayStation. Yeah, that's just weird.
Thanks, PlayStation.
We got Ace or Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy. The first three got announced to be, I think, remastered or something. It's bringing as a trilogy to the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PC, Xbox One. So these were always handheld games, kind of Nintendo 3DS. They were on Android and iOS, but they're finally getting a full actual console release.
Woo!
Which these games are fun.
I don't think I've played them. I think I've seen the memes with them though. So.
Oh, yeah, you've seen the memes.
I've seen the objection.
Yes. So it's cool that people are going to actually have a chance to play them where they want, instead of only have to have a 3DS. Nobody wants to play the game on their Android or iOS. Come on.
Yeah. Fuck that. We don't do that.
Yeah, so we got those coming. That's cool. that's where I'm going. And then let's talk about Ninja, the first pro gamer on an ESPN cover.
Ooh, it's a pretty large accomplishment, obviously. I mean, it's not like games have been around. Well, I actually don't know how long ESPN's been around comparatively to... Oh, well, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I saw this.
Yeah.
I saw him on TV too, obviously on ESPN.
Yeah, so Ninja's, he's big. He's the face of gaming right now.
Yeah, he's pretty much, yeah, like you said, the face. He has made it to mainstream.
Yeah, like for ESPN to be like, all right, we're going to acknowledge a gamer above all these sports players on our sports magazine and put him on the cover.
Right. I will say ESPN has kind of been moving because I think they have like a esports section.
Yeah, they do. Which
I'm not saying they're like moving towards esports, but they're like incorporating gaming, competitive gaming as like they're recognizing it pretty much. But yeah, Ninja, he's a stud at Fortnite. He's pretty much the biggest streamer in the world, at least America. Don't know anyone else. And yeah, has blue hair. That's irrelevant.
A lot of it's for charity, I believe is.
But it's pretty crazy how he started. I remember back like in a long time ago, I remember seeing his name on the top of like Halo 1v1s on game battles, and now he's on the cover of ESPN, and I'm here talking about him.
that is how that works, and you know, we can combine that with some Fortnite news where they had 78.3 million players in August. Unique
That's crazy.
Players, 78.3 million, which is massive.
In August.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they announced that Thursday-ish. So, yeah, that is the definition of crazy. There's very few other games, like Minecraft had back in December like 74 million, somewhere around there. They set their record. And I mean, that game has been out forever, and they just now hit 74 million as their like biggest thing. It's like that's insane.
I know games like
League of Legends in 2016 had over 100 million active players a month. That was back in 2016. Crazy. So we know where Riot's gone since then. Their player base has definitely, I think, died over the years, but it's still big, still massive.
They have a very large like Chinese player base, which helps.
Yeah, that definitely does help. And Fortnite has yet to be released in China.
I mean, if they like it, then it's gonna take.
Think about that. Like, you know, these other games have this huge player base with China.
Yeah, only like a third of the world.
Yeah, Fortnite is almost competing without China.
That's insane. Like, if it catches on in China, it'll be the most popular game ever for a long time.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy it hasn't released there at all, actually. I didn't even know that, to be honest.
I wonder why. Is there is it like, I don't know.
I don't know. I just noticed that in this article. It says, worth noting, Fortnite has yet to be released in China. It's like, oh, okay. Uh, which I mean, Tencent owns a part of Epic.
I'm surprised. I wonder what's. Is it not released in China, or is it just not popular?
Regulations are here. It
Oh,
is. I found it. Um, yeah, there's a lot of it moved by Chinese regulators. Polls is basically keeping the game from moving through. So, I mean, obviously, there's some issues with China as uh, Twitch was banned in China.
nice. Good job, China. Doesn't China have like their own Twitch thing though?
Yeah, Abzu or something like that.
Oh, Abuzu. I think it's Abuzu.
Yeah, something like that. Um, but
I
yeah,
thought Twitch was already
they've had Twitch though for a long time. There, they just now banned it.
Azubu, I think is what it's called. I
Yeah,
thought it was already like banned or like
no.
hard to
Last
get
month, the
on.
Twitch app in China was the third most downloaded free app on the iOS App Store,
Interesting.
and you know they do, but there's no clear answer on why it got blocked. Like some people are saying, Chinese users are saying they think it's the government cracking down on gaming addiction. Others believe it's another form of limiting free speech because you know they do have a lot of issues with that in China.
Right, China's kind of a strange place. Interesting, strange place. But no more Twitch for him. Sorry.
Yeah, that's actually really big because that's
I'm sure Twitch did not like that.
yeah, I imagine so. Like that's a huge market that you're just losing. That's a lot
Right.
of viewers just kind of gone.
Maybe, yeah. That's kind of, I don't get it. But whatever. I'm not the
Yeah,
Chinese government.
yeah, we'll find out someday. They just have lots of weird regulations. The other thing, let's move on here. We got YouTube gaming app shuts down, which,
Everything's getting shut down. My lord.
to be fair, I didn't even know there was a separate YouTube gaming app. I'll be honest. I knew there was YouTube gaming. I didn't realize it was
Right.
a separate app.
I thought you
Which
could access YouTube gaming through the regular YouTube app.
maybe
Who
I don't know.
knows?
Because, but the point is, like, uh, let's see. They said YouTube has 200 million people that are logging in every single day to watch gaming content, but none of them are using the YouTube gaming app. Like, it only had
I don't
11
blame
million downloads since it's been released in 2015, and a lot of those people just downloaded it to try it. So a lot of those 11 million were not
It
active.
doesn't seem to have a like if I want to watch, I don't know. Kind of,
Yeah,
I feel like if you already know what you want to watch on YouTube, you'll just use the regular YouTube app and just search for it.
yeah, but so it's been kind of just absorbed into YouTube now. A lot of the things that are on YouTube now actually started within the YouTube gaming thing. Was like, you know, the super chat, channel memberships, the streaming, all that was through like because of the YouTube gamings, where a lot of that was like experimented and done, and that was brought into YouTube. Like a lot of those
Yeah.
channels with the join buttons now, where you can have paid subscriptions,
Right.
uh, started to do that. But now it's just, hey, nobody's using it. Let's get rid of it instead of
Yeah.
just having it for no reason. So, rest in peace, people who use that. Granted, you can just use YouTube like every other regular person is.
I mean, that's what I would be doing.
Okay, I need this to load here for my next story. It, the tab's broken. No, but hopefully it'll load. Valve and Ubisoft were both fined by the French government over their refund policies, mostly because of. Wait, no, yeah, no, just load. I need this. The where I was going, like, they have clear refund policy laws and stuff that they think Ubisoft and Valve are not adhering to, because you know Valve has the thing that you can refund as long as you have less than 2 hours. The French government says it doesn't matter how many hours they have on it, long as they return it within 14 days, they can return it. And it's
Okay.
like, well, you could buy and beat a game and just return it then.
Right. I can see both sides because there's also games where they like there's very long intro or stuff like that where it takes almost those 2 hours,
That's
which
true
is
too.
kind of. But yeah, 14 days. I could beat lots of games in 14 days.
Yeah, but the thing is, there are other ways around that. Like they even have an exception that would be applied to Valve and Ubisoft, but they're not like upfront with their refund policies at the time you buy it. Like the messaging's not clear. So all they have to do is make the messaging a little more clear that the refund policies, like Ubisoft doesn't have a refund policy. There's this, you buy it, you have it, no refunds.
I could see why that's an issue.
But they have been collaborating with the government for a while now. So it's kind of weird that they went ahead and just fined them when they've been working with them for a while to get it solved and figured out what they should do. And then, yeah, Valve can keep their thing with the 2 hours and stuff. They just have to make it a little more clear. Like you have to give them messaging before they buy it, not after. So they're gonna have to set it up in some way or the other. But yeah, they didn't get fined much. Like
I'm sure it's
Valve got fined 172,000, and
that is
Ubisoft
literally
got
nothing.
fined 210,000.
That is nothing to them.
Pretty much, yeah. So they're just gonna have to be a little more clear, and then they'll get around that. And then, hey, you gotta pay attention to country laws.
All right.
They
Lots
want
of
something
gaming
away.
people think they can just ignore them.
No, there's a lot of businesses like that. And a lot of like smaller industries or industries that aren't noticed as much. Like gaming's just now starting to be a little more noticed by everyone.
Yeah.
Like it's been there, but it's never been like this huge mainstream. Like everybody's looking at it, government's looking at it. But now, with that being as big as it is, the governments are more willing to pay attention now than they have ever been.
Right.
And now the people are going to realize their old policies are not where they need to be. Let's get to a little bit of fun bit here. The Riot game, not Riot Games. Got nothing with Riot this week. You're off the hook. RuneScape. That's the fun stuff. Firing mod Jeb.
I think it's Jed.
Jeb, like Jed Bush.
I think it's mod Jed. I think. I don't know. There's like 300 million memes on the subreddit. I should know, but I can't honestly remember.
So, for anybody who doesn't know, this
it's
mod...
Jed with a D.
All right, I thought so. He was... A lot of suspicious activity around him, working with a clan known as Wright, who everyone knows is suspicious and like IP like blocking and DDoSing, and he was stealing people's personal information to go in and steal their money. He stole 46 billion gold from a player, which translates to like $40,000.
Right. It's just because like he was connected. Well, first people were not happy with him because he was just connected with Rot, and Rot's just like a scummy clan, to be honest. And then there was like some quote unquote conspiracy theories. They're not really conspiracies because it turned out to be true. People are like, well, look, he's present when this DDoS happens. He's here when this DDoS happens. There's a bunch of like mystery. Like there was a bunch of one-letter accounts that just all randomly got name changed on the same day. Like stuff like this is happening. People are like, hey, I kind of just lost 45 billion coins. Can someone tell me what's going on? And the funny thing is the community's like, oh, they like they're like, oh, you're just a real world trader, or like you just got hacked, you're an idiot. Turns out he's just Mod Jet is just literally stealing money from players.
Yeah, like, and just he's with Jagex. He has, for some reason, he has access to people's personal information, and
he was like some junior something. I can't remember, but yikes. It's a
Yeah,
pretty big.
and this is, you're supposed to be able to trust the game developers because you're giving them your information. Like,
Right, straight up. The crazy thing is, Jagex had to. I mean, obviously he's fired.
yeah, but they
They
defended him earlier in the year too. Like, oh, he
yes,
he was not behind any of this. We did an internal investigation. Apparently not. Your investigation was you probably asked him if he was doing it. He said no, and you're like, oh right.
right. It's
It
insane.
wouldn't be that hard to check his logs, but like,
It's
what were
I
you
just don't know
doing
how
accessing these files or something like that? But I'm guaranteed their system's a mess. Like, I know it's a mess because if you look at their passwords, it doesn't accept symbols. It doesn't read uppercase or lowercase.
right, not case sensitive.
It's like,
It's pretty bad. It's just there's been like rumors how much he stole. It's supposedly like almost 1 million or something,
yeah,
which is insane.
and he's supposedly like fled the
Oh,
country.
right. It's crazy how like, because I mean, not only it's like what he did, he also exposed like personal information, like credit card information. That's illegal.
Sure, I
You
mean,
can't do that.
like, like if you're that guy who lost 46 bill, which is $40,000, you just wake up one morning, you lost $40,000.
Right.
A lot of people all of a sudden homeless. I wouldn't be surprised that, that's like basically at the point where you think about suicide, right? Like,
It'd be like, oh my god, I hate myself if I vote. Because I mean, obviously it's like in-game currency, but it's equivalent to about $40,000,
you
which
know,
is a large sum of
which
money.
Jagex gave it back to him. Good to them. I would sell it immediately if I was that guy. I'd be like, thanks for this back. I'm selling it. I'm out.
Right. I'm buying a car and I'm driving out of here. Peace.
I'd sell that guy, I think, at this point, but like, just in case it gets. You never know when they hire the next guy and he comes in just as
Right.
crazy.
This is the second time that they have had a like corrupt employee, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
It's not looking good. And the fact that earlier they like straight up defended him, saying like no further things will be done, calling these people like that is what it is, you just lost your stuff, and then to turn around and be like, well, actually he's doing all this he was accused of and more. It's like, wow, that's
Yeah, so it's like they need to really look at their policies, like who can access what. Because first of all, you already had it happen once. Like, that's just really bad to have it happen once. Usually in most companies, what happens if someone's upset or they don't like what they're doing? They leak some information, like, oh, here's a game announcement I'm leaking early, like a jackass.
right.
But no, but when you have people like stealing information and stuff, they should never be. That should only be acceptable to the people at the very top, not some
Right.
junior guy. And especially if you already had it happen once, and you're gonna give some junior guy the same access later down the road. That's like,
Right.
wow. It's like, okay, you
But
guys.
even like
Two
even
is
if they,
already too many times.
yeah, even if they didn't give him direct access, someone clearly messed up where he got access. Like something went wrong. It wasn't just like he magically got all this on his own. Like, oh, I just guessed all their passwords. It's like he clearly had access to some.
guess their IP addresses and
Right.
DDoS them.
It's pretty messed up.
Yeah, it's definitely messed up. And hopefully, their next hire, if they even hire another person.
I would say they should just stop hiring people that just work with what you got.
Let's start getting into a little more depressing area here. Let's start off with the simple. Armada retired from Smash Melee. To an extent, he's still going to be doing doubles. He has like one more tournament he's competing in for singles. But for singles, which is what everyone knows him for, being the best of the best.
Right. You could argue that Armada is the greatest player in Melee singles in history. Just, I mean, there was like a year and a half there where like he would never lose. He was a monster.
Yeah, and he's the second guy we've lost of the gods now.
Right,
Uh,
he's part of the gods. Like, there's the notorious, the god era of Melee. He was always up there. He was always he was pretty much the final boss of the gods when it came to non-gods trying to beat them. Which only still, I think, 2 people that were non-gods have beat him, maybe 3. I can't remember specifically, but he's insane.
yeah, and it's like that's a huge void that's being left open. Uh,
Yeah, it's gonna feel weird with him not being there.
yeah, because he's always there at the end of the tournaments with the other gods, and it's now like we got a few other players stepping up, but like Plup, Zane,
Right.
but they're
I
still
think
way behind. Like
the god era is coming to an end rather soon.
I like you see, Mango tweeted like after he's like, "Oh, thank God, I'm not going out first."
Right.
His response is like, "Perfect,
Because
that's
they all
Mango
like
for you."
Armada's retiring. I think M2K is focusing more on his book.
Yeah, he's focusing on fully on his book now, and then he's gonna be playing like Ultimate and Melee.
Right.
So
Mango is not what he used to be. HBox is getting exiled pretty much by the community. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just said fuck it and left.
and he's been working it. He started up work again earlier this year, like back in like February, like being an engineer. So
Right.
it's only a matter of time. Like obviously he's working somewhere good where they give him the freedom to still
Exactly.
compete, but like it's only a matter of time until he just focuses on that because the money's just not there in Melee.
Yeah, it's the prize pools are trash, pretty much.
Yeah, unless you were one of the gods winning and having these top sponsors.
Yeah, but it's kind of sad that this
That's
whole
why this is the sad section. Okay.
yeah. I'm sad. I'm already sad.
The next few are just sad. At least more for me than they probably are for you, but
Right.
definitely for me. Like the next one, the Final Fantasy Composer is ceasing work because he's fallen like ill and he's focusing on his health and he doesn't think he's not sure if he'll come back, but he's pretty sure he might not. He's definitely probably not going to come back, which is huge because he's one of the best composers in video games, period,
Right.
when it comes to music. He didn't do just Final Fantasy, he's done Chrono Trigger and a few other series, so only really a couple of the biggest known franchises when it comes to RPGs. And that's just a huge loss. Like losing just
especially if it's a well-known composer.
yeah,
I feel like any game would suffer if
he's
like
been doing
obviously
this the whole time since like the first like Final Fantasy.
right.
And we're at Final Fantasy 15. I don't even know what the next Final Fantasy music would be like without him composing it.
It's gonna that sucks. I don't even play Final Fantasy, but
Incredible
I'm a
music.
big fan of like music in general when it comes to like obviously games and anime, so and I mean they're well-known composers for a reason, so
Yeah, I've always had the thing I want to do is go through, listen to all the Final Fantasy soundtracks, even the spin-offs, and then do like I don't know, like a video on like the top 10 songs, which is a lot to go through, but it's something I've always wanted to do, and I might do that sometime. It'll take me a while. First of all, it's a lot of soundtracks. Some are long, some are short, mostly long.
right.
And then I'll have to narrow that down to 10. Do some script edit. This will take me like a year or two.
Long-term project.
A long-term project. Just do little battles while you can. Okay, now some sad stuff still. Let's see. Capcom Vancouver closed their doors. Capcom Vancouver, the studio, they took over the Dead Rising series at 2, so they did Dead Rising 2, 3, 4. It's really what they're known for. Really fun game series. One of my favorite zombie games in general. I can't think of it.
Man, why we gotta have this sad section to make everyone all
it was just
depressed
this
and
week,
stuff?
man. They made it sad this week. It was.
Hope this isn't a reoccurring thing.
Yeah, that's like.
Be...
Let me look here. Like, so they lost. I'm trying to look for how many people lost their jobs. It was like 180 or something like that with it closing.
That sucks.
Yeah, it
Did
actually
I say
does.
why? Just financial issues.
Uh, I get they were having some issues, but Capcom is also moving to focus solely on their games in Japan, their Japanese studios. I think
Okay.
Vancouver was the only one they had outside of Japan, I want to say. Uh, but I mean, I love the Dead Rising series, incredible series. I guess they just didn't sell that well, which kind of sucks because those games were really fun. But yeah, it's a huge loss,
Yeah.
and that wasn't even the 158 people laid off. It just sucks to see people lose their jobs like that.
Yeah, I'm
Especially,
sure they
I don't think that
love.
studio deserved it. Very beloved. The other studio that closed this week, which is a big one, is Telltale Games.
I saw that
Uh,
as well.
Obviously, the Walking Dead series everyone knows so well
Right.
from the video games they did, which so they closed all their projects basically. They just released episode 1 of the final season of the Walking Dead game
Yeah, that's what I was say. I
last
thought they
month.
just came out with a new one.
Yeah, last month. So there's 4 episodes left that will never be released. So it won't be finished.
Did they
Uh
say why?
Again, theirs was their games weren't selling. And that has to do probably with
I thought they
PewDiePie.
were. No, go ahead.
PewDiePie did a video on it this week, only on Telltale Games, that he did really serious in depth. That was actually really good. It was mostly they just expanded way too much, and they still had that engine was just god awful, filled with bugs, just didn't run well ever. They always had major launch issues with everything. They released a lot of different games too that just should have never been released. I mean, if you look at them, like there's only a few that really stood out, like um, Walking Dead. The Borderlands one was supposed to be good. The Game of Thrones one I heard was just awful.
Right.
So, and then they had the Wolf Among
I
Us.
know Walking Dead was the super popular one.
Yeah, and Wolf Among Us was the other like big one. Um, they're keeping a few people left to finish off their project, the Minecraft story mode project for Netflix that they were working on. So that's the only thing they have a skeleton crew for that to finish that
That
up.
will be their last hoorah.
Yeah, essentially. But that is a big loss just because they've done a lot.
That's
But
so crazy that they just had a new episode and they're like, well, guess what? It'll never be finished. Peace.
yeah, it is like people have been committed to this Walking Dead series for a long time.
All right.
It's been like what 6 years, 7 years, or something crazy. I'm pretty sure. Uh, the Wolf Among Us people have been waiting over 5 years to get two. Now two is canceled. Um, and said you're getting Minecraft story mode for Netflix.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what everyone wanted. But what they
Yay.
needed to do was after the first Walking Dead, instead of making other games, is put that money into making a new engine
Yeah.
and then make their games. Because God, man, their engine was awful. Everyone complained about it, and also, I just if you want to get like a lot more in depth, I actually do recommend that PewDiePie video. It
I'll
was
probably watch it.
it was actually really far in depth, really well done, and he hit a lot of the main topics of what kind of led to them failing.
Yeah,
And
I'll watch it.
I
I'll
definitely
definitely.
agree with a lot of the stuff he says. That ends the sad section though.
Thank goodness. Whew.
Oh
Got through
man.
that.
Okay. Well, let's jump into the topic I just randomly thought of.
Okay.
Wow, we're prepared.
We are very prepared.
Let's talk about cheat codes and the fun we've had with cheat codes and how they no longer exist in gaming.
I would say
Really,
cheat codes are kind of not a thing anymore.
yeah, we have to jump
I guess
back.
now it's kind of like mods, I guess.
That is true. You have to
That's
mod the
new age
game, and it's
cheat
like
codes.
that is new age, and it's like Mods just don't have the same feel as they did with developer cheat codes.
Cheat codes were super fun. I feel like every game back then had some sort of cheat code, and it was always like goofy stuff. It was like, oh, uh, like if you played a sports game, it'd be like tiny people or big heads.
Yeah, big heads was always one of my favorite. Big heads, like paintball mode for some reason I liked a lot, with like bullets when they would just leave paint on the walls.
Right.
And
Like
it's like,
GTA had a ton.
yeah,
GTA could literally do
GTA was like,
anything.
definitely one of the ones that a lot of people remember. Like I played with cheat codes in um, GTA all the time with the free
Yeah,
tanks. Always
exactly.
always the tank one I went
Just
with.
spawn a tank, spawn a jet, a helicopter,
God
all the
modes,
stuff.
God modes.
It,
Um,
I mean,
Age
I
of
miss cheat
Empires
codes.
2. I'd break. I remember some of them. You had Big Daddy, who was a car with a missile on top.
Right. Like
E equals
futuristic.
MC squared, or yeah, and it was a guy who could bring in a nuke, which was
It was
hilarious. You had these people in the Iron Ages running around with like a long
swords and
sword,
shield.
and then it just comes down and there was a photon laser. I think it was a cheat code, and it was actually a guy who had a laser beam for a gun, and it's like they were unstoppable. Though if sometimes the CPUs would have those priests that could convert units, and they would convert
Right.
my cheat codes. I was like, oh, there goes my laser guy. Good thing I can pump out 50 more.
Right. Dude, cheat codes were they just every time a game you're just like, you know what? I just want to have fun. I don't want to stress over anything. Let me just boop 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 boop, and then you just went at it.
Like Age of Empires was one I think I had the most fun doing, because there was one. It was a baby on like a tricycle that had a gun on the front of the tricycle. It was just hilarious. And it would go out, wham, and shoot a gun and just blast people with this little
Right.
tricycle. And it's like, what am I looking at right now? You had like the Flying Dutchman, which was a boat that would just fly around and drop bombs on people.
I feel like this cheat codes were just like stress relievers for the developers. They're like, all right, we just worked so hard on that. Let's just mess around.
Dude, that's how the Time Splitters one was in Future Perfect. The human gun sounds I always talk about. It's just,
Pew pew.
they were like pew pew. It's like, what am I listening to? It's like they're like, oh man, crunch week. We just got done working 160 hours each this week. Let's do something fun.
All right, let's just
Everyone record a gun sound.
pew 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 pew.
They're like, pew, pew. The rockets were just silly.
I guess now though you can just mod it however you want, and
if
there you
someone
go.
makes the mod for you, I guess.
Right, unless you're super crazy smart or have lots of time to mod.
No, some of those mods are crazy, like on Skyrim, or they're like, oh, we have the super enhanced resolution pack.
Right, it's
We
crazy.
enhanced everything in the game. Oh, we added this whole new section and
People are
story to it. And it's like, damn.
smart.
Duke Nukem 3D was another game I had fun with cheat codes. I actually, all these I can remember, like DN stuff, DN cash, where if you, DN cash was, you hit the space bar, you threw money. That's all it was. I threw it around. DN stuff gave you everything.
That's always nice.
There's like DN God mode. I think it was just DN God though. Obviously, makes you unstoppable. And then there was like, I never actually played with that one. I just like the DN stuff where I had everything, so I could have all the guns on level 1.
Right. Rest in peace, cheat
And it would give
codes.
you all the key cards, so you didn't have to go fucking find them to open the doors. It's like, I'm just going through. I ain't looking for these keys.
Right.
I don't know why I like DN Cash. I think it was just funny to spam money around at
Some
enemies.
some cheats were just made to be funny. Like it's
Well, it
just
was
like
great because there's strippers in the game, and then you're just throwing mad cash. I'm like
ching,
I'm like
ching.
6 years old throwing mad cash at strippers.
Make it rain. Woo.
I don't know how I found all those cheat codes. Now that I think about it, some of those weren't like just, hey, here they are.
Right.
Dial up, baby.
Yeah, you had to write them down on a piece of paper.
Go to the store, look at a game magazine, look for the cheats, and if you were stuck on it, a game, you go into the store, look at the walkthrough real quick.
Right.
remember it, leave the walkthrough. You don't pay for walkthroughs. You get to rate it for free in the store.
Perfect.
And you're like, all right, I'm stuck. What do I do? Got it. Go home, beat that section, be like, damn, Mom, I need to go to the store again.
Please take me to the store.
I'm stuck. That was my adventures at Toys R Us.
Hey, I did the same stuff for some games. Some games were hard when you can't just look up how to beat it. Especially old games. It's like, Jesus, I'm
And
stupid.
when you're like 7 or 8,
Yeah, it's like, Jesus,
9,
I'm
10, you're just like, all right, I comprehend this, but I don't get it. Ah. But yeah, so I don't think too much more to add there. I don't think, because once you hit like those 360 era, cheat codes kind of
cheat codes are
die.
kind of gone.
Sad days. All right, let's just go ahead and move on to movies. Yeah, movies sounds good. We don't have anything else to go on to. The Captain Marvel trailer released.
I watched that, of course.
Oh, I did too. Great.
And obviously, she was teased at the end of Infinity War. So, you know, they got to get a movie to introduce her. Can't just have her showing up, being all strong and stuff, and no one knows who the hell she is.
That's true. She's not as well known as the others, like even comic book series wise. I think I know her a little bit. I mean, I haven't read too many comics outside of like Spider-Man, but I do go enough times on the Marvel wiki just to learn characters and understand their stories without reading all the comics.
I will say the best part was when she punched that old lady in the face. That was so funny.
Probably a scroll, not just a scroll. I can't remember the correct pronunciations. Scroll, whatever. They can transform and shit. So
it was perfect because like in the trailer it's like protect people from threats, and it just shows her decking what looks to be some old lady.
It was pretty hilarious. There was also on the poster and the corner, a lot of people are speculating it's Chewie, who's one of her like kind of pets or things that are cat race people. So cat like race, something like that. So yeah, it's Marvel. They do everything in comics that are weird.
All right.
And of course, it was followed up with all the people's complaints that she wasn't smiling enough in the trailer.
Yeah, I saw that. They're like, I'm kind of nervous because she was just had the same expression. It's like they were mainly action scenes and stuff.
Like, yeah, it wasn't like if you know her past, she was basically what she's learning her past throughout the movie is what we saw in the trailer. Is like it's not a good one. She was kidnapped by I think it's Kree, and you know they basically used some technology to fuck with her, and that's how she got her powers.
Right. We'll see. I think people are just
and people don't like that, and it's like I know she mentioned something about being like a gender thing or something. And it's like it's possible too. Like nobody ever goes. Doctor Strange never smiles. He doesn't. His name's Doctor Strange.
It's true.
Like Tony Stark almost never smiles. Like a few of them, it's like you're not asking them to smile. They've been through a lot.
She wasn't as expressive, but I mean, I'm not gonna dig into a trailer that deep.
I'm not either. The trailer was good. I enjoyed it.
Right.
Punch an old lady. They talk too much. Okay.
People just are very cautious and want everything to be perfect.
Yeah, it'll be good. Guaranteed. Not guaranteed, but it'll be good. Guaranteed. But also coming out, we got Loki and Scarlet's Witch are getting their own TV shows on Disney Play, their subscription service. So they needed something to entice me to think about buying it. I might get it 1 month at some point just to binge both these shows because it's like, oh, and it's the normal actor. So Tom Hiddleston's going to be Loki in the series. And then you got, Elizabeth Olsen being Scarlet Witch in her series. So
I'm surprised by Scarlet Witch. I mean, I understand Loki because, he's like a fan favorite. And he was kind of very strong villain in the MCU. Scarlet. I mean, I'm interested to see Scarlet Witch. I'm just surprised.
Scarlet
I
Witch,
guess.
like the hero Scarlet Witch, is actually just really cool. So I think that's probably why they chose her. I'm sure others at some point might get something, or it might be just the other actors. I mean, if you're looking at all the others, they either got movies or they're
Yeah.
old and they're trying to retire after this Avengers series.
I would say there's most of them have movies besides like I guess Black Widow and Hawkeye. Really, poor normal people that don't actually have superpowers are just.
Well, I think Black Widow is in the talks for her own movie too, though. So
That makes sense.
Hawkeye, he's Hawkeye, okay. I don't know, maybe, but it is kind of Loki's definitely because he's a fan favorite. Like we've obviously got plenty of his story throughout all the Thor movies and the Avengers and stuff, but and they said it would not feature top tier Avengers in any of the series, so that means Thor would not be in the Loki story. He might be mentioned.
I'm sure that there'll be some name dropping.
That 100%. Yeah, you would have to. So each series is expected to be 6 to 8 episodes. Limited series, so they might only be one season. Which is why I could wait for both seasons to come out, get 1 month of Disney Play, watch them, and then be done with Disney Play until the next thing comes out where I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to watch that.
Right. Makes sense. Good strategy.
So yeah, good stuff, Marvel, giving us more of Avengers and Loki. But it's all I asked for. I love all the superhero stuff.
Right, superhero stuff's just enjoyable.
Exactly. And we also got the trailer drop for Daredevil Season 3, which you don't watch Daredevil.
Correct.
I do. It's going to premiere Friday, October 19th. As in premiere, the full season's going to be dropping on October 19th.
Right.
Which I do like because then I can just watch it, move on. I do enjoy Daredevil. The first season I thought was really good. The second season, I was kind of on the fence about it. Nothing like too standoutish to me, but it was still good, or at least enjoyable. I do dislike Foggy, who's like one of the main characters. Is like Daredevil's best friend. It's kind of a shitty friend, but hey, people like him. I don't, not at all, one bit. He just whines and complains the whole time. He's like, "Man, Murdoch, quit going out and fighting as the Daredevil. You're gonna get hurt. Shut the fuck up." You gotta let a hero be a hero.
This seems to have turned into a rant.
No, we ain't ranting. This isn't going to turn into a Harry Potter rant, okay?
Right.
Until I watch the next Harry Potter movie. I still stop at the Chamber of Secrets. One of these days is going to randomly pop into another podcast and be like, "You know what else grinds my gears about Hogwarts?"
I'm excited for that. I'm waiting for it. The return of the rant.
Woo, Daredevil. Anyway. We got with the whole Marvel Disney, not Marvel, Disney, the Disney and Fox buyout, that is kind of going through now. So we got the CEO Bob Iger of Disney talking a little bit about the whole merger and how he says all of the Fox Studio stuff, so Xmen, Fantastic Four, is going to be absorbed by the Marvel Studio because he's like, oh, it doesn't make sense to have two Marvel Studios and have it split. It should all be under one umbrella, right. Just so it can be a little more focused. And so Kevin Feige, I think is his last name, Feige. It's like Feige, so probably Feige. Maybe. It's names, okay?
Maybe. Kevin F.
But he's kind of like the head of the Marvel stuff. But Bob Iger, somebody asked him if Deadpool would join the Avengers, and he said Kevin's got a lot of ideas. I'm not suggesting that's one of them, but who knows? But the point is, we could see all these Fox characters now being in the Marvel universe.
The MCU, yeah. That would be crazy.
Deadpool's already alluded in the movies that he's part of them. Because he always talks about the Avengers, makes fun of them and stuff. Right. And he's there with the X-Men. So
that'd be
crazy. I think we're more likely to see Fantastic Four, I think, get a reboot and join the MCU first. Just because the Fantastic Four started Marvel. That was like their first comic series was Fantastic Four. And
I could see that.
And
I could see
huge.
Deadpool making like a small appearance or something. Or like a minor like kind of Easter egg-ish thing.
Yeah, I don't see him being like
not like in the story.
Yeah, I don't see him being in it just because of how he's the exact opposite of the Avengers, right? He kills all this.
Right. I can see him. I can see like, you know, like a scene people are like, "Oh, we need help, call the Avengers," and he just like doesn't move or like just refuses to go or something because he's not really a hero per se.
He's an anti-hero.
Right. He would be funny though. I'd say
he would be funny. Definitely. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do. I do think it's likely we'll see a reboot of Fantastic Four. People have been waiting forever for a good Fantastic Four movie, and we just don't get it.
Yeah,
because Fox sucks with most of their movies. A lot of their movies suck. Deadpool was like an exception, and Logan, which I think those had like different help. I don't know if those were fully Fox.
I think didn't they give it Marvel the directing rights?
I don't know if they went that far, but I don't quite remember.
I can't remember.
But yeah, they gave us some hope there, so that's kind of cool. I would like to see. The only reason I think they would go back to Fantastic Four is just because they're the most beloved when it comes to like the comic book series. Right. At least they were. I don't know if it's now still that way, but I would imagine so. Because I would love to see the Spider-Man Fantastic Four feud. Because like in the comics of Spider-Man, he just kept fighting the Fantastic Four because he was trying to make a name of himself. He's like, oh, the best way to do it is go beat up the Fantastic Four. So they always thought he was a villain because he didn't care to be a hero. He just cared to make money. And that's how Spider-Man had his roots. So it would be cool, I think, to have something. Obviously, it wouldn't work really too well with this Spider-Man because he's not built that way. But but they could still find a way to have him a feud with the Fantastic Four.
Right. It could just be like, yeah, I could see that maybe.
It was mostly him and the fire guy, whatever his name was, Flame On dude.
Flame On dude.
because he's not that smart, like compared to the rest of the Fantastic Four. So Spider-Man was always able to bait him.
I don't even know his Human Torch. That's what it is.
Human Torch. Flame On dude. Okay.
Flame On dude's probably a cooler name.
It's Flame On Man. Yeah. And the last piece of big
last but not least
Avatar the Last Airbender is getting a live series on Netflix, and they're bringing in the original writers, creators, and they're the executive producers and everything on it, directors.
Right. So I will say that is a good sign, but I'm still skeptical.
Well, I'm still skeptical. It's live action. At least it's a series.
Right. That's another good step, but live action does not translate well, okay? There's lots of reasons.
I feel like a lot of the animations from like anime to live action don't fit that well.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like in like animes or like a cartoon like this, whatever you want to classify it as, we ain't gonna debate that right here. They're very like expressive or exaggerated at points, which
like just silly like faces and stuff like that.
And like sometimes movement is unnatural when you try and translate it to like a person doing it. Also, Avatar kind of has this whole like they're very martial arts influenced when it comes to their bending, and I don't know how well that's going to translate. Because like in the show, they actually showed all the motion. Because yeah, it's kind of easy to animate everything when everything's animated. It's going to be hard to have someone, obviously they can have someone do the motion, but you're going to have to like put in water moving around them, rocks moving around them. I just feel like it's not going to translate well at all.
Yeah,
Has to translate like 4 times.
I get where you're going, because obviously you can get people that do martial arts really well.
Right.
I
That
love
part will be
martial arts
easy.
films are like my favorite film genre, period. But I see, to get it to like flow well and not look weird. Like,
Yeah,
I don't. The movie was so forgettable. I can't remember how it looked. I'm not gonna go back to rewatch it because obviously there were huge shots. But another thing they said is we're thrilled for the opportunity to helm this live action adaptation. We can't wait to realize. Aang, right? Is it Aang or is it Ong?
Aang.
Aang. Okay.
It's Aang. Oh my goodness, you almost.
Just I was just making sure I'm not
almost
triggering
triggered
anybody.
like
I will try to, because
the
anyway.
movie says Ong, but that's wrong.
See that okay, that makes sense. Because first of all, I know this is a show you watched a lot and loved.
Yeah, I think it's.
I never watched more than the first season. I watched the first season way back in like high school one year when I stayed at a friend's house. We just watched it and stayed up watching it, but I never watched it again. I did try picking it up like a couple of years ago. I just couldn't get into it. So people are gonna attack me for that. But we got you who has seen it all. So
right.
Balance us out. Only half hate. Anyway, back to the statement. We can't wait to realize Aang's world as cinematically as we always imagined it to be, and with a culturally appropriate, non-whitewashed cast. It's once in a lifetime chance to build upon everyone's great work on the original animated series and go even deeper into the character, story, action, and world building. So, I know a lot of people will be happy about that, how they're not going to whitewash it, I guess. I'm also in the factor at the end of the day, I think, as long as the writing's good, and whoever can act it, that's what all that matters. I don't care if you did make someone white, Asian, black. I know people. I get white people prefer it one way or the other, but I'm always into, if they do the role well, that's all that matters, right? So, and at the end of the day, it's the writing, as long as they do the writing well.
And yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm not getting my expectations up.
Yeah, production won't begin until 2019. So
it's a long way out.
Yeah, we won't see it until probably 2021. I would say if production starts in 2019, because then you got to do all the production after that. Because I don't know if production's how it starts. Does that mean that's when they start filming, or is that when they start writing and everything, or it's like, because once they get all that kind of filmed up, and they have to bring in all the people to do all the acting, then they got to do all the CGI effects, then they got to do all the editing, and then break it down, and then from there keep breaking it down, and then get it finalized. So I would imagine early 2021, maybe late 2020 if you're lucky.
Yeah, it's probably a decent ways away. I wouldn't expect it like super soon. That's if everything even goes through, and is can only imagine Avatar live action canceled because
yeah, how is fucking his fucking thing he flies on, like
the bison?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's gonna be CGI'd probably.
It's like, let's see how well that looks too.
He even has that pet like monkey lemur thing. Can't remember what it is called.
But the point is, that's like that stuff to animate is not cheap.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel the bending, which is the main like thing of the show, is going to not. I feel like that's the most important thing, and that's probably gonna be expensive too. It's not like I can just throw water on the screen.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much Netflix is willing to throw into this, I guess. Because like if you look at Game of Thrones, right, just to have those wolves in the episodes is massively expensive.
Yeah,
Having a
I will
six-legged
say
flying bison is going to be a lot. It's going to be just just as expensive at least.
I will say a good sign is Netflix does pour in a lot of money when it comes to their like
That is true.
original shows.
Yeah, and they already got a huge, massive fan base here with
Right.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. I mean,
I will say expectations are high because people love that show. I think it's a great show, so no pressure.
yeah, expectations will be high, but I would keep them not high.
Right. Yeah.
I feel
I
like
mean,
you go in high, you're gonna be disappointed. No matter
realistically,
what. I think if you, that's why I try not to ever have too high expectations. If you do, you're almost always gonna be disappointed. And it's like just go in there, expect to enjoy it, and maybe you have a chance, right?
sure.
Yeah, good luck, I guess.
Woo.
But yeah,
I think that's it.
that is everything for this episode.
Episode 8. Hey.
Yeah, but yeah, that does it. So thank you for joining us for another episode of We Be Talking. Yeah, be sure to hit the like, subscribe. I almost forgot, man. We've been talking for so long.
For real.
We've done several videos before this podcast. I'm trying to get everything out.
I am
ready.
Talked out officially.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, thank you everyone for coming by. Be sure to check out any of our other reviews if you're interested in anything like that. And until next time, peace out.
See ya.